Great. We're all set. All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening to those of you joining us from Facebook Live, seeing this recording after, or joining us from Zoom. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to the Portuguese American Artists Gallery Meet the Artists Talks. This initiative is brought to you by the Embassy of Portugal in Washington, D.C., Palcus, and the Portuguese Chamber of Commerce. My name is Mariana Brazão, and I am a Palcus Director for New York. Joining me to co-host this session is Leonor Brazão, visual artist and member of the Portuguese American Artists Gallery team. We've had the great honor of restarting this initiative this year and have been having our monthly Meet the Artist talks for a couple of months now. This initiative is meant to support and highlight the work of several Portuguese American artists. We did open up the focus to artists outside of visual arts, so performing artists are also welcome. So as you see this and see the work, feel free to reach out to the team if you have anyone you'd like to nominate. Just want to let you know that this session is live streamed on Facebook as well as Zoom. We'll have plenty of opportunity for questions, so feel free to drop your questions either on Facebook in the comment section or through Zoom on the Q&A portion of the session, and we'll get to those as time permits. And now I'm going to pass it over to Leonor, who's going to introduce our wonderful artist for today, Donald Mota.
So tonight we have a pleasure to have Donald Mota here. He's a mixed media artist based in Long Beach, California. As a first-generation Portuguese American, Mota's work navigates the crossroads and the merging of two rich cultures, while exploring themes of identity, belonging, cultural hybridity, and heritage. He creates pieces that resonate with a sense of duality, while weaving elements from both cultures. Mota pays homage to the Portuguese traditions that shape his upbringing while using art as a bridge between the old world and the new. Through the use of traditional colors, patterns, and symbolic reference of Portuguese culture, Mota's work is infused with the spirit of his heritage, creating a visual tapestry that speaks to the depth of his roots. The fusion of Portuguese and American influence is expressed through his choice of materials, techniques, and subject matter. His experimental spirit incorporates a diverse range of substrates, such as found objects, textiles, digital elements, acrylic, oil, and watercolor paints. I can't wait to hear about all these techniques. This approach incorporates layers of meaning while inviting viewers to engage with the layered and textured quality of each piece. Mota's art is a much reflection of his heritage, as it is a personal narrative that speaks to the immigrant experience. His journey as a first-generation artist is a testament to the transformative potential of art in navigating the complexities of cultural identity. So Donald, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we'll start looking at some of his artwork.
Okay. Before we start, I just want to thank you ladies for bringing me on. It's a huge honor, and I appreciate you guys bringing me on.
We're so excited to have you, and we already see some love in the Facebook Live comment. People are saying Donald is amazing, so we're so lucky.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of walk through, I think, some of the incredible photos of your work. For those who don't know, Donald's work is also on the PortugueseAmericanArtGallery.com. Just look under the page. But yeah, should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. So here we have the Festa Brava series.
And Donald, feel free to comment if you have any comment about the artworks.
Yeah. So a lot of my work, just so everybody has a little backdrop about me, like you guys introduced me, I'm first generation Portuguese American. But growing up, I did a lot of Portuguese events. For about 18 years, I was a bullfighter. So you'll see a lot of my artwork has a strong forgado, which is a Portuguese style bullfighting influence on it. So a lot of these pieces, especially the Festa Brava series, really touches on that, my love for it, that art form, and what it means to me. For instance, that top left piece, Chris, he's also a forgado here in California. I learned a lot from him, not just in the art form, but also from life. And that piece, it's all multimedia. There's a lot of pieces in there. If you look in the bottom right, it's really hard to see from this photo, but on the bottom right, no, of that top left photo, yeah, right in there, there's like patches of my military patches when I served in the military. When I was it was a combat mission, so I had patches. And Chris was also in the military, so I wanted to kind of put that in there, have it shown but still hidden, kind of like that underneath a veil. As some people have told me my work it's there but hidden. Um, yeah, so a lot of my pieces, especially in this series, is multimedia, a lot of texture. I love texture. I think our culture has a lot of texture to it, and so I really try to convey that with my artwork as well.
Beautiful. You want to show the next, Maria?
Yeah, of course. So these are more of your digital illustrations.
Correct. Yeah. So these illustrations, what I'll do is I'll get the photo images of these forcados, and I did probably about 20-25 of these illustrations. I only have a few of them in here, and I'll do the digital illustration, then I'll print it out on paper, and then I like to do mixed media, so I'll go over the top of that with either watercolors or some oils or some painting ink as well, just to give it some more texture. You'll realize I'm really big on texture. I don't know if I have ADHD or what, but I love people wanting to go up to my artwork and want to touch it and peel it and actually interact with the work itself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You even see it here on the illustrations, the various different layers. Like I love just the differences you have between the two, and then like the harder, rougher lines with the shading. It makes it such a fascinating view.
Thank you.
Great. All right, so we have continuation of your Festa Brava series. We have some oil on panel on this page. So I'd love to hear, yeah, that flux between the mixed media to illustration to oil.
Yeah, so on the panels, what I like to do is I like to repurpose objects that I'll find, and I know it sounds really cliche, but I want whatever image I'm going to be pulling out. I want it to actually pull out of whatever the medium is already. And I'll sketch, real loose sketch from reference photos, and then I'll just literally just attack it. I don't have an idea exactly what it's going to look like. I'll just kind of just jump into it. I'll go 3 to 5 hours straight of just painting. And I like that panel on the left hand side, Senor Pajeda. He's really well known in our culture, in the community back where I'm from, which is Central California. He's done a lot for the Festa Brava, so I wanted to pay tribute to him. And I really wanted to show his simplicity as a person, but also his complex and beauty that he carries with the way he enters the arena and how he tackles life. I really try to convey that in my work, is not just the object or what they're doing, but the person as well. And then that piece is oil and watercolor, and a lot of people don't like to mix the two, but I love mixing everything. I I just really try to break as many rules as possible when it comes to creating.
I love that. I have to say, like that Senor Pereira, like it just, you can feel like the energy and the personality right away. Like it just comes through. It's so striking.
That's
And we
awesome. I
have and we
appreciate
have
that.
someone saying here, the bottom left one is one of my favorites. It's hanging on our wall from
Yeah,
Aaron Lawrence.
yeah, I was gonna say it's probably Aaron. I had painted that and I had held on to it for about 2 or 3 years. I just didn't want to let it go. And then finally, eventually he was like, I gotta have that piece. So he ended up taking over the ownership of that piece. And every time I go over there, I love seeing it hanging on the wall. That's one of the best feelings when you see a piece that you create and you get to share it with the world, and then they actually bring it into their home and give it life, another life.
Absolutely. I think it's the beauty of the art. It continues on. And I want to hear a little more about this mural that
So
you
The
yeah,
did.
mural, yeah.
so that mural, that's just a portion of it. It's 115 or 120 foot wide wall by 15 foot tall wall. And I got I got reached out by a business man in Tracy, California. He wanted to do a Portuguese themed mural. Reached out to me, and this really kind of pushes the boundaries, especially in California, being that it's a bullfight themed mural. Um, but but it was really rewarding to see the love that we got from the community, and people would come in from various other towns, come and take photos with it, and I was really blown away by the support. I wasn't expecting the support that we got putting up the mural.
Very nice.
That's incredible. Great. So now we have your portraits. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about, than this series and what inspired this.
So there's a series, there's obviously there's more pieces than this. I just
Yeah.
picked through these photos, put them up, but I was always afraid of doing portrait work just because you don't know how the end project's gonna look. But this the sisters one, they came to me with this commission piece with a photo that was in really bad like really bad shape. I want to say it was probably 3 inch by 3 inch or 3 inch by 2.5 inch. It was a small old photo, and they had always wanted to have uh this photo duplicate, but they couldn't because it was in such bad shape. So they commissioned me to do this, gave it to their mother, and it's hanging up on their living room wall now. And it's I want to say it's three by two, so 3 foot by 2 feet tall. And I started this with a watercolor undertone, and then just put a bunch of strokes. So if you look at it, it's kind of hard to see from the photos, but if you look into it, there's lots of texture, a lot of strokes. That's one thing I really enjoy about oil work is the stroke work. I really get pulled into the stroke work. Growing up as a kid, Jasper Johns and Picasso were two of my favorite artists, and I just always loved seeing their stroke work. And so I try to kind of mimic that as best as I can with my own work.
Yeah.
The North Snort on the bottom left piece, that was a piece that it's in permanent display in Terceira, the island of Terceira in the Azores, at a church that they celebrated. I want to say it was the 100th or 200th year celebration of the church, and they had 12 artists from around the world. I got chosen to be one of the artists to do one of the 12 crosses the stations of the cross. And so I did this piece. It was the first time I've ever done a religious piece. So I was really happy with the way it came out. Um, just that whole being able to have my work in the Azores, where my family immigrated from, and to be able to hear all the people that go back to go visit, and they take photos with it, and they share with me that it meant so much to have my work be representing our community, um, in the hometown that they grew up in. It's very humbling. So that was a great experience. And then the piece to the right, that's another piece that I did up for another commission piece for a family, and that was fun. Again, they came with a tough photo reference, but that's the beauty of art. It's just trying to mimic the reality, and even if the photo is bad, you just gotta kind of overcome those hurdles and do your best with it.
Absolutely. And like mimic reality in your own style. Like when you talk about the texture and the oil, like I love how you did here the hair shading and then
Awesome.
the textures on the face. Yeah, I can totally see what we're trying to do with those.
We have
Great.
more pages?
We
Yes.
do.
I believe there is
So we have our Galush series.
yeah. So Galuj, I mean, I got it. I actually did this tattoo on myself years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I always loved the Portuguese galo, what it signifies, what it stands for. The fact that truth and resilience will always come through in the end. I just love that story, Galo do yourselves. So you'll see a lot of my pieces are in tribute to that, to the iconography of that image and what it means to our culture. The Portuguese culture, we're very passionate people, I like to say, and we like to stand on truth and perseverance. That the truth will always
Absolutely.
come through. It would always
Absolutely. The resilience. Yeah, the resilience.
resilience. That's even better. Yeah, great choice.
Yeah.
So we're resilient. We're very
Yeah.
resilient people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see
We
that. Go ahead.
We just move forward. Doesn't matter what, we just go.
That's funny you say that. My father, he passed away years ago, but when he was fighting cancer, he would always say simple friend. Even in the darkest days, he would always say, no matter what, you always gotta push through. And just it brings me joy just to hear. Yeah, it brings me joy to even in the bad times. There's gonna be bad times, but simple friend, no matter what, it's in our bloodstream.
Yeah.
So also just kind of like some side notes on this, the big rooster, you'll see like nos on the bottom, and it also has yeah, right in the bottom right hand. There's also like a little icon right there. That's so growing up, my parents with our cousins would play Sueca. I don't know if you girls are familiar with the card game, and that's how we would keep track of who was winning. It was nos, the yells, and so I'll put that icon, those little icons, kind of like little Easter eggs within my
Yeah.
work as well. So if you look into a lot of the pieces, looks like a lot of scribbles and scratches and stuff, and it is. But then there's also it's layers, just like us and our experiences through life. It's layers and layers and layers. So that's what I
It's our,
really try to push through.
it's our lived reality. And I notice you even have gallows behind you in your screen. So
Yeah, I
that's an
do.
important.
They're literally everywhere. I love
Sure.
that image. Yeah, there's a couple more.
Couple
Oh,
more. I love these digital illustrations too. Oh,
Thank
and you
you.
here you're layering it as well. Incredible.
Exactly.
And then
oh,
we have some fados.
I love the funky gallo. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, thank you. I actually did a couple years ago. I ran a series of clothing line with that funky gallo, and it did really great. It just
It's great.
with the change of like when COVID hit, I kind of had to change some things. So I'm thinking about launching it again here in the next couple of months. But yeah, the funky gallo, everybody seems to really resonate with that guy.
Stay tuned, everyone,
Let's
because
stay
that'll be a
tuned.
hit.
Stay.
Incredible. Okay. And then we have some fados, portraits here, which I believe are from the California area.
Yeah, so a lot of these are going to be from the California area. The one on the George, he's a phenomenal father singer. I'll have to send you guys the links to him. He's from Central California. Super awesome guy, great musician, unbelievable singer. Um, uh, I really try to hit his expression and his personality through that painting. He's really expressive when he sings, and he'll literally pull your heart out and hold it while you sit there and stare at him. It's guy's just a killer artist.
Yeah.
Um, then
I,
also go ahead.
I'm sorry, it looks like the secret is to be a good friend of you, and you'll do a great painting.
I mean, I love painting friends. I really
Yeah.
do, especially other artists as well. I love painting other artists. I think it's really easy. And then Marissa, she's also from Central Valley as well. She's originally from the Bay Area, and she just recently started taking father singing on like head on, like seriously, and she's crushing it. She just released an album, I want to say 2 years ago, and that illustration was like a little inset piece of artwork to her album release, which was really nice. And if you look at that, that's literally layers and layers and layers. So it's like there's a lot of like bullfighting clips and newspapers from Portugal, from actual Lisbon, that I layered on top of each other with more
Yeah.
digital artwork, and then other illustrations that I did as well.
I think the way you paint, the way you do your art is so related to our culture because we are layers and layers and layers of so many things, so many emotions, so many memories, right? So it's like the veil we talk about the other day. Like you have, I don't know, it's like a fog, but it's something that is a memory that is very present in everything you do.
It's that so that longing for the past and hoping for the future. That's really what I really try to push through on my work. And when you said that veil, when you expressed that the other day, I've been carrying that in my head. I love that the way you explained that. I was like, I wish I could have made that up myself. That was perfect explanation.
It's yours now.
Like I
It's
said, I'm
your
gonna
art.
steal that. I'm stealing it.
Yeah, and like even this piece here, like guitarra, it's just like the way it's set up, the composition, but that it's like it's bringing you in, but keeping you far. It's just it's such a good way of like that depth too, of like having the viewer intrigued and also seeing it clearly. I don't know, it's such a great mix.
Thank you. I like how you say that, bringing you in, but also kind of keeping you at a
Yeah.
distance as well.
Incredible. And then you
That
have Blue Father down here.
Yeah, so Blue Father, that's actually of another guitar. This kid's, I say kid, young gentleman. His name's Justin Roger. He's from the Central Valley as well, and he's a phenomenal musician. There's a bunch of really good musicians out there. There was a guy named Gino Almeida, and he taught this whole community how to play guitars. He would teach them. Uh, I think once or twice a week they would go to the local Casa de Sorge, and they would all get together to learn how to play instruments. And so he's done a great job for our community. But with that being said, this is Justin Rocha. I took this from one of his gigs and kind of just did my own touch on it. This was heavily influenced by Pablo Picasso and his blue
Yeah, the
blue.
blue face. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it. The subtle references. Amazing. So that's all of the artwork we have to share. I think now we can, kind of dive in more and
Cool.
pick. I think for what would be, I think we're seeing all this work and it's so incredible and advanced. The compositions are incredible. So I think it would be great for everyone to hear more is how you really got started, how this, yeah, what was your journey to getting
Okay.
to this point?
So well, like I tell everybody, I've been drawing or creating my whole life. I started honestly, as far as I could think back, probably third, fourth grade at least. I was moving a lot around then, and so I had a hard time making friends. And what I would do, I would just sit in the back of the classrooms and draw. And I realized that that was like my way of being accepted. And so I started drawing illustrations for kids, and then eventually into high school, I would draw. It's funny. I would draw the party invitations to the parties and not get invited. So I was that kid. And
They
then
needed to pay. They needed to pay very well.
I guess, and then when I joined the military, I would get commissioned to actually do like cards or love like illustrations for love letters for guys that would be sending it back to their girlfriends or wives and stuff like that. So
Beautiful.
yeah, it's really cool. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, wow, I didn't really think about that, but that's kind of crazy how I trajected that way.
You brought the art through your path, even was not related. You brought the art as a connector. That's beautiful.
It was the way I would connect with how I would connect with the world, with people, was through my art. It's always like just part of who I am. I think I learned that from my mother and my father. My mother's really crafty.
Okay.
My sisters and brothers are all really good at designing or working with their hands. My father was a musician. He was a photographer before it was easy to be a photographer in the Azores. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of been an innate thing in my family. And then so after high school, I went to the army, was in the military for a while, came back, went to school at the art academy, and kind of the rest has been
Yeah. How
kind
old are you when you moved from you are from a beautiful island in Azores, St. George, right?
of.
How old were you when you moved here?
So my parents immigrated here with my two older brothers
Okay,
from
got you.
Saint George, and then they had the next five kids here in the Central Valley.
Okay. Did you ever went back? Do you
Oh
have any
yeah.
plans to show your artwork there?
So I've been back there a few times for bullfighting again, and then also for the permanent artwork. I went there to present it. And then I was actually there just about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I went there with my girlfriend, took her there for the first time. She fell in love with it. And my goal is to actually go back and either have an art show there, or I would love to do a big mural there somewhere, either in St. George or Fayal, even Pico.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe someone who is listen to us, they'll have a
I,
sponsorship for you
I would
or
absolutely
help you.
I
to
would
get
love
that
that.
dream to come true, because I think you have such a beautiful art that represents the community, and in that exchange between Azores and United States is so strong, right? There's
Right.
so many immigrants from there, so it will be great if someone
There,
sponsor you. I'm putting
I,
out there. I'm
I,
manifesting. I'm
I,
manifesting.
I will take that. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I really believe in manifestation too. I believe that when you put in the work and you put it out there, that some people call it the universe, I call it God, but I believe that it'll be met the other half. You just got to put in the work, and overall, people are beautiful and they want to help you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I believe in more good than bad for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to remind for those who are watching us on Facebook or on Zoom, if you have any questions as well, we have a little bit of time left, so please feel free to submit your questions. But I want to ask you, Donald, what do you have any shows coming up that you're working on? Any upcoming projects you want to share?
So I'm working on I'm always working on
All
projects.
right.
I'm also a visual designer and brand identity, and so I do a lot of graphic design. So I've been working on a lot of those side projects, but then I'm also working on two bodies of work. Always working on the Portuguese American body of work, and then I'm working on there's a group show here in Long Beach in October that I'm working on 5 pieces for. It's called Into the Dark, which is I've been doing a lot of sketches for that because that's really out of my realm. I don't usually paint dark paintings, so I'm trying to wrap my head around that. My work's usually a lot brighter and a lot of white wash into it, kind of replicate the architecture in the Azores of Portugal. So I'm wrapping my head around that for sure. And then I'm taking on a lot of. I've been really blessed lately. I'm starting to get a commission works. So I'm just wrapping up a couple of commission paintings as well.
And you mean the commissions are graphic design or are paintings like
Uh,
portraits or?
Portraits actually, I got one right now that I just framed. I still need to tighten it up. It's like just a little. I don't know if it's coming through or not, but
It's
That's
it's
a dog.
incredible. That's incredible.
I still need to tighten them up a little bit.
Yeah,
So like the frame, I actually built the frame itself,
love that.
and then made it float. It's kind of hard to see, but it's floating in there.
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, that's good. The audience knows you that you accept commissions for
of,
pets,
yeah,
for people.
for
You need
people.
you need to be an artist, right? So you only paint artists. I'm just kidding.
No, honestly,
The dog is an artist
for
too.
sure, for sure. But that dog's actually got a lot of personality, so I'm trying to pull that through in the painting as well.
Amazing. Incredible. Well, yeah, I think we have, I think, time for one or two more questions, but I want to give a chance to talk about kind of who is inspiring you right now, who has in the past, who you're kind of looking to.
Okay. I mean, I'm constantly being inspired, whether it be through media that I watch, like movies or audio, artists. Obviously, Picasso was a huge influence. Nathan Oliveira, I loved his print work. You ladies just had another artist on recently that I was like a little schoolgirl when you guys brought him. Like he's one of my all-time favorites, and to be able to, again, thank you for me bringing me into this community, because to be around artists like that I always looked up to is very humbling. There's also photographers, Daniel Gonsalves, uh, Jackson Nichols, really good artist. Aaron Lawrence, great designer. He was just in on this talk. He's a mentor of mine. So Akira Beard, if you ever get a chance to look at his work is phenomenal. I'm constantly trying to be on the lookout for other artists because I'm just trying to become better so that way I can represent my story better. I think it was Da Vinci said when he passed away that he asked God for forgiveness because he didn't he didn't produce enough, or he felt like he was unworthy because he didn't do it enough, and I don't think anybody's done it as much as him for our society. So to hear artists like that be that humble, it's just like I want to learn as much as possible and contribute as much to this world as possible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is interesting about you, like you said, you had your journey, your path was not necessarily all the time in the arts, but you brought the arts to your journey. What do you recommend to someone starting the career? How to face the challenge? What to do to succeed? Any words of wisdom out there for the people who are starting?
You just give me goosebumps. I honestly, it goes back to what we said earlier. It's simple things like all you got to constantly keep moving. Like, just like when I don't know if you girls have ever been injured or hurt yourself. If you stop moving, your body's gonna lock up. I think if you take that mentality to anything and you apply it to anything in life, if you stop, you're gonna freeze up, just like a diesel engine. You won't continue to grow. So if you don't keep moving, you're gonna be stagnant. When you're stagnant, it builds viruses and diseases. The only way to grow and to be better is to just keep moving. And don't take yourself so serious and don't take life so serious. It's all a gift. This is a huge blessing. We're all floating on a rock out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a beautiful kind of way to wrap that up. And, I think this message too, we keep talking about sampling finances, is absolutely incredible. So I just want to encourage, I don't know if there's any last thing you'd like to share with everyone before we
Uh,
log off, some parting words.
I just want to thank you. I appreciate you guys bringing me on, and it's super humbling. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait to share once I get some more things going and my process as an artist. I would love to share it with you guys and catch back up here in a few months.
Yeah, you can come back
Absolutely.
and talk again. And if you know anyone in your community that would like to
I'll,
share the artwork, please
Yeah.
let us know because we're always looking to create this community. So it's open for people to share their art and their love to our
Mhm.
culture.
I really love what you guys are doing, putting a magnifying glass to our culture because it's super beautiful. And I will definitely there's a heap of talent that I can't wait to show you girls for sure.
Thank you so much. And that goes to everyone as well watching. And just want to encourage everyone, if you haven't yet, to go to PortugueseAmericanArtGallery.com. You can see Donald Mota's page there with lots of incredible work. And we'll make sure to keep that updated. Whenever you have new work, send it. And we'll be happy to have you again so we can talk even more about the projects you're up to. I want to see what comes out of this upcoming show that you're doing. So,
I
Into the Dark.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
great.
share it. Have a
Awesome.
great day.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a
Uh,
great night.
Thank
We really
you.
appreciate you being
thank
here.
you, thank you, thank you.